Retreat Design, Phase 1, the opening. The four phases of a gospel-centric retreat are opening, retreat orientation, retreat sessions, and closing. Today we'll talk about the opening. The purpose of the opening is to assist retreatants to begin withdrawing from daily routine so that they can draw near to God and each other, and to begin establishing an environment of holiness and hospitality. The opening phase of a gospel-centered retreat includes opening remarks and opening worship. With opening remarks, leaders model hospitality. First, by simply welcoming the retreatants. Then with a series of thank yous, showing gratitude for those who invited you and everyone who worked behind the scenes to move the retreat from vision to reality. If you have partners in leadership, for example, a co-leader or a musician, show your appreciation to them. And if they are not known to the group, say a few words of introduction. Then conclude opening remarks by sharing your enthusiasm for this time of retreat. Opening worship addresses the reality that people bring baggage with them when they come to retreat. The intent of opening worship is to lead participants to turn their attention to God and help them to let go of whatever keeps them from being fully present. I have found it effective to move into opening worship by pausing for a few beats after opening remarks and signaling the shift by saying something like, "And now let us turn our attention to God." Your worship table or center is already a visual reminder of the presence of God. So worship begins by drawing the retreatants' attention to it through your performance of a symbolic act that signifies crossing the threshold into God's presence. Symbolic acts, for example, include lighting a candle or opening a large Bible, along with some words reminding the retreatants that they are gathered in the presence of the risen Christ. The symbolic act is followed by a few moments of silence for the retreatants to embrace the reality of God's nearness. Inviting participants to take deep breaths, inhaling deeply through their noses, exhaling fully through their mouths, can help them relax and settle in during these quiet moments. The opening hymn or song reminds the group of God's love and care for them, or expresses the human desire for God. The research you've done in preparation for retreat design can help you and your worship leader select music that fulfills this intention and is familiar to most of the group. The call to retreat or opening meditation is a prayer said in unison that functions like a call to worship in a Sunday morning church service. You can create your own or adapt a call to worship. As we said earlier, people come to retreat weary and heavy laden. They may carry worry and guilt about the task they've left undone or the people they've left behind. The practice of shedding helps participants to name and release them into the love of God. Here are 3 examples. As calming music plays, retreatants write a letter to God, telling the story of who and what they left behind or left undone. They seal the letter in an envelope, pray a prayer of release over their writing, and place it on the worship table. They can retrieve their letter at the end of the retreat if they desire to. We can thank the Korean church for Tongsungido. With this approach to prayer, everyone prays aloud at the same time around the same theme. In a retreat, that theme is what participants had to leave behind or undone to be able to come to the retreat. For additional information about Tongsungido, turn to page 445 of the United Methodist Book of Worship. Leading the group in palms down, palms up prayer is another approach to the shedding of cares. You will find a link to this practice in the folder for this session. Opening worship concludes with a prayer that invites the work of the Holy Spirit during the retreat. An alternative is to sing a prayerful song that holds meaning to the retreatants. Some examples are Spirit of the Living God, Change My Heart, O God, and Have Thine Own Way, Lord. Remember, I welcome your questions. Please email them to me or post them on the discussion board. You are in my prayers as you continue to explore your call to retreat ministry.